طيب إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. طيب what was the hadith that we covered last week, Adhar?
One of them was where the Prophet said حلق المتنطعون then قالها ثلاثة and then
what does that mean? What does the hadith mean?
I think Imam Nawawi said it's the one who said Tajawaza, who go overboard, and I think Ibn Uthaymeen said they're strict in affairs of religion and dunya.
Yeah, the affairs mutashaddidun. Okay. What example can you give? Halak al-mutanatti'un.
One of them say you never get married.
Okay. Okay, the hadith, the ones who will never get married, I will fast, will not break fast. طيب, these are some of the examples of tanattu'. Also, what else did we say tanattu' could be? You weren't here. Were you here last week?
Yeah, praying and not sleeping.
Sleeping. Other ones? Other examples?
Fasting.
Fasting, not breaking fast. Things like that. Prophet displays that. Tanattu'. طيب, then the hadith was the first hadith we covered. The first hadith.
ثم الذين يلونكم ثم الذين يلونكم, so the best generation after me, the ones after me, and the ones after me, then the ones after that. There's a dispute whether it was ones after me or not. So there's a tabi'in after tabi'in. Then he said the ones after that, their witness will follow their testimony will follow the witness. So basically after that, dishonest people will come. He gave descriptions of them,
So Prophet gives some example, testifying without verification, things like that. These things will take place later on. طيب, ينظرون. What's the ruling of what's nadhr?
To make obligatory upon yourself, which
Okay. In the Quran, Allah praises those who fulfill the vow, but in the Hadith, Prophet do not make a vow because it create stinginess in yourself. How can you combine those two? Ayah praises, Hadith says don't. Got my question, yeah? Yes. How do you reconcile the Hadith and the Ayah? Can we say Allah, Rasulullah contradicting Allah? La, you'll never be.
Allah is still pleased.
Okay, well, let's say this. Do you have the answer?
No,
Go on.
Allah is still pleased if you keep the oath, but it's recommended not to make an oath because in case you can't
fulfill it. Okay, so how do you explain the Hadith where Prophet do not make vow because it brings out stinginess from you? No? How do you?
There's two types of vows. So there's one which is just a vow on its own, and there's one with condition. So someone who says, if I get this job, then I'll make a umrah. And when you make a condition like that, you put yourself at risk of not fulfilling it and you become sinful. So maybe you get the job and then you don't fulfill it and you become sinful.
So yeah, that's what Shaykh Saleh explains as well, Kitab al-Tawheed, that another two types, mutlaq, absolute one, just make another. Muqayyid for conditions, that's where the bakhil comes in. Because he makes a condition to worship Allah. Astaghfirullah. So that's how it's understood. And finally, inshallah, just can you give me, we mentioned another different type, give me one type, inshallah. Vow.
As in like example?
No example. We mentioned some of the categories, different categories of vow. Do you remember anyone, inshallah?
When you vow shirk, when you vow can anything other than Allah.
Okay, so vow which it can be shirk. Saeed, give me one.
vow to commit sin.
Okay, vow ma'asiyah, which is not shirk but it's sinful. Give me one more, inshallah.
Is it to do with the dunya?
The one with dunya mubah, yeah, that's one. The last one, Azhar?
Ta'a.
Ta'a. So these are 4 types of Zaw, inshallah. So keep that in mind. Let's start. طيب الحديث التاسع عن ابن مسعود رضي الله عنه قال خط لنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خطا ثم قال هذا سبيل الله ثم خط خطوطا عن يمينه وعن شماله ثم قال هذه سبل متفرقة على كل سبيل منها شيطان يدعو إليه ثم قرأ وأن هذا صراطي مستقيما فاتبعوه ولا تتبعوا سبل فتفرق بكم عن سبيله. طيب, hadith, the 9th hadith, the Ibn Mas'ud narrating the hadith, which means that it happened in front of his eyes. Prophet ﷺ drew a line. So he's teaching Islam, Prophet ﷺ, to the companions, drawing on the floor, on the earth, with the duster. So he drew a straight line, khattan. Then he said, this is the sabilullah, this is part of Allah Azza wa Jal. This is the straight path of Allah Azza wa Jal. Thumma khatta khututan. Then he drew other lines, and he said, on the left and the right, then he said, this is the path which are not part of Allah. The path are separated from the path of Allah Azza wa Jal. And in every path there are shayateen. And this shayateen, you can refer to shaitan, iblis, and friends, in the du'at, callers according to hellfire, ahlul bid'ah, mubtadi'un. As in another hadith, Prophet said that, أخوف ما أخاف عليكم أئمة المضلين. What I fear for you most are the scholars who are misguided. Okay, the scholars who are misguided, calling you to the hellfire. So that explains those parties are. Okay, some of the ulama say these are madhahib. You know, it's not that it's that the madhab is wrong. It's because that separates. Because we have one Islam, one Prophet, one Allah. To separate yourself following different madhahib, they say it is not from the Sunnah. You stick to Rasulullah. You follow Rasulullah. We're not undermining the A'imma, the scholars of the madhahib. No, it's because one deen. Why we have different madhahib? No. So it's one book, one Quran, one Sunnah, one Prophet. So after Prophet he did that. He read the verse وَأَنَّ هَذَا صِرَاطِ مُسْتَقِيمًا فَاتَّبِعُوهُ وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا سُبُلَ فَتَفَرَّقَ بِكُمْ عَنْ سَبِيلِهِ. Then he said, and that is my path, mustaqima. Now what is mustaqim? Now we ask Allah every day in Surah Fatiha, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم, guide us to the straight path, صراط المستقيم. So the ulama explain this. Now اهدنا الصراط, the 3 ways you can read, with sin, sirat, with sad, sirat, and with za, zirat. So اهدنا الصراط, اهدنا الصراط, اهدنا الصراط. So 3 ways you can recite this. Qira'ah, Imam al-Baghawi, Ibn Kathir, as I mentioned that. So sirat, something mustaqim. Okay, the ulama have explained what is this mustaqim. Imam al-Tabari said, أجمعت الأمة من أهل التأويل. People, scholars of that mufassir. Ta'wil here mean tafsir. Because Imam al-Tabari in his tafsir, he said, قول تفسير هذه الآية, قول تأويل هذه الآية, the tafsir of this ayah is كذا كذا كذا, so and so. So he doesn't use the word tafsir, he used ta'wil. Ta'wil can mean as a tafsir. على أن الصراط المستقيم هو الطريق الواضح الذي لا إعوجاج فيه. تفسير ابن كثير. Ibn Kathir, she mentioned this in his tafsir. Imam Tabari said that صراط المستقيم is the word the scholars have came to agreement, the scholars of tafsir, that it is a straight path, clear path, that it has no bent. It has no bent, it's straight path. So اهدنا الصراط المستقيم, it comes in the Quran many verses. إنك لا تهدي إلى صراط مستقيم. Indeed, you guide people to the Siratul Mustaqim, a straight path. Now, there's another ayah which explains this Siratul Mustaqim. And Allah said in the Quran, the path of whom? وَمَا يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ وَالصَّالِحِينَ. That whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger, okay, they are upon the path of whom Allah has blessed. The prophets, Siddiqeen. The Siddiqeen refers to the ulama, the scholars who testify this. Shuhada, those who die in the path of Allah, was Salihin, and the righteous. So obviously we cannot be a Nabi, but Siddiqun are the scholars. Some of the ulama says that in this ayah it shows that Siddiqun, the ulama, are better than the Shuhada, because Allah mentions Siddiqeen over the Shuhada, even though both have virtues. And Imam al-Sa'di, I think, follow the opinion. And to be honest with you, having both of them having the virtues in the sight of Allah, Shuhada and ulama, they have virtues. But based on the Quran and the Sunnah, the text, Adillah prove that the ulama are better than the Shuhada. And I will openly say this. You know why? Because Shuhada, Ibn Abbas says that if I had a choice between going and fighting in the battlefield, becoming shaheed, and staying behind, learning the deen, teaching the people, I stay back and teach the people. Because the maslaha is greater. Because shuhada, they die in the path of Allah, and that's it, just for himself. But the ulama guide the ummah. They're the light of the ummah. And Allah praises the ulama more than the shuhada. وَمَا إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِ عُلَمَا. Those who fear Allah most of the ulama. Okay? وَقُلْ رَبِّي زِدْنِي عِلْمًا. Okay? And say, Muhammad, increase me knowledge. These are all evidence for the ulama. Okay? وَمَنْ يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِخَيْرٍ يُفَقِّهُ فِي الدِّينِ. That whoever wants Allah would give understanding of the deen, and the ulama has it. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُوا الرَّسُولَ وَأُولِي الْأَمْرِ مِنْكُمْ. Or those who believe, obey Allah and the Messenger, those in the authority over you. One of the tafsir, the ulama. So I believe personally, ulama are better in the sight of Allah, is greater than the shuhada, because the amount of people they have guided, the amount of people they have taught, the nur for the society, for the country. And Prophet said, Allah does not take knowledge away from individual, but He takes knowledge away by taking the shuhada, ulama. Shuhada, yes, no doubt, they fight to raise the word of Allah, but the ulama, ya ikhwa. There's a book by Ibn Rajab, Imam al-Ajurri, talking about the akhlaq al-ulama, the manners of the ulama, the scholars. In there he brings the statement of Abu Darda, he said that Allah guides the people through the scholars, the way Allah guides the people in the middle of the night through the stars. So the ulama are the nur of the society. Okay, so imagine how many people are guiding by teaching the deen of Allah, and Allah guiding people through you. So look at the reward when you die and the hasanat that you're going to get in the grave. Subhanallah. Abu Bakr Siddiq, through his da'wah, who became Muslim? Lot of, the 10 granted paradise, a lot of them came through the da'wah of Abu Bakr Siddiq. Uthman is one of them. Can you imagine? So me personally believe ulama are greater than the shuhada. If I had a choice to die in the battlefield or be a alim is better. It's not we're scared of, inshallah, we're not scared of dying in the path of Allah. It's just the maslahah, the benefit you can give it to the ummah. And you stand in front of Allah Yawm al-Qiyamah, and knowing that you've given the da'wah of Islam to these people, and they've been guided through you. Allahu Akbar. So, Siratul Mustaqim is a path which has no bend. It's a clear, straight path. Clear, straight path. And that ayah explains this is the path of the Prophet, the Siddiqeen, the Shuhada, and Salihin. And the Salihin are the righteous people who worships Allah upon Tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jal, leaving the bid'ah, leaving the muharramat, and doing, these are Salih, Rajul Salih. Tayyib. So this hadith is a hadith of Manhaj. Why? Because this hadith showing us that we should follow the path of Allah Azza wa Jal, the straight path, and not follow other path. So some of the scholars says this Siratul Mustaqim book of Allah. Some said it is Islam. Different tafasir, but ala kulli hal, this is the part of which is the Quran and Sunnah. Siratul Mustaqim is Quran and Sunnah, no doubt about that. So this is part of Manhaj, because it is a path. It's a Hadith teaches us we should stick to the straight path, which is Al Quran and the Sunnah, and do not follow other than part of Allah Azza wa Jalla and His Messenger. طيب يا إخوة. So this is what this hadith is understood now, is hadith of Manhaj. The second hadith, hadith al-ashir. عن عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من عمل عملا ليس عليه أمرنا فهو رد. That whoever does any action does not belong to a matter, then it will be rejected. وفي رواية من أحدث في أمرنا هذا ما ليس من فهو رد. That whoever does any innovation in a deen which does not belong to will be rejected. So first hadith, من عمل عملا. So here, amal, any action, and Shaykh al-Islam mentions in Wasatiyah, I'm going to mention this again inshallah. He said that ومن أصول الإسلام والدين ومن أصول الدين that أن الإيمان والدين مبنيا على قول وعمل. He said that the Islam, the fundamental of Islam, is built on statement and action. قول باللسان وقول بالجنان. Okay. عمل باللسان وعمل بالجنان وعمل بالجوارح. So he divides the statement. He says that statement of the tongue and statement of the heart. Action of the tongue, action of the limbs, and action of the heart. Okay, let me explain this. So that's the fundamental of our deen. What are the statement of the tongue? Dhikr, reading Quran. Okay, these are statements which are ibadah of the tongue. What is the statement of the heart? The belief that you have, the belief that we possess in our heart. We believe Allah, we believe the messengers, we believe the Prophet, we believe the books and the Akhirah. This is statement of the heart. Then he says action of the tongue. Okay, that again reciting Quran. Okay, tilawat. All these are action of the tongue. Action of the limbs, salawat, hajj, zakat. Okay, the action of the limbs of the heart. Sorry, action of the heart are love of Allah, fear of Allah, trust in Allah, hope of Allah. These are all action of the heart. So Shaykh al-Islam says these are asluddin min usuluddin. Anna al-usul wal-iman wal-deen based on these things. Our belief, fundamental of the deen, based on action and statement. So here he says, man amila amalan. Whoever does any action. So that means the action of the heart, action of the tongue, action of the limbs, any action that laysa alayhi amruna, our matter, it doesn't belong to our matter, it doesn't belong to our deen. فَهُوَ مَرْدُودٌ, it's rejected. So any action that we do doesn't belong to our deen will be rejected. The next one, كذلك, same thing. من أحدث في أمرنا هذا ما ليس منه فهو رد. That whoever innovates in our matters, our deen, our Islam, doesn't belong to it, will be rejected. Now Ibn Rajab, rahimahullah, he said that هذا الحديث, this hadith we just read, وحديث إنما الأعمال بالنيات أصل عظيم من أصول الدين. هذا ميزان الأعمال الظاهرة كما أن الحديث إنما الأعمال بالنيات ميزان الأعمال الباطنة. كما أن كل عمل لا يراد به وجه الله تعالى فليس فيه ثواب. وكذلك كل عمل لا يكون عليه أمر الله ورسوله فهو مردود. So Ibn Rajab said in Jami' Ulum al-Hakim, this hadith we just read, the two hadith, and hadith إنما العمل بالنيات, is combining it. He said that these two hadith, amazing hadith, is related to our deen, the fundamental of our deen. And he said this hadith we're talking about relate to the action of the limbs, apparent. Okay? And the hadith إنما العمل بالنيات relates to the heart, action of the heart. Okay? Likewise, if you do any action, he doesn't do for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, it will not be accepted. Likewise, if he does any action that is based on the command and command of Allah and His Messenger, will not be accepted. Like this hadith. So if you do something in a deen, it doesn't belong to deen, it's not accepted by Allah Azza wa Jal. Anything. So these two hadiths are conditions of our action to be accepted. So first condition is what? We have to do for the sake of Allah, which is innamal a'malu bin niyyah. Okay? That's the first hadith which relates to ikhlas, sincerity. And this hadith relates to the action, yani following the Prophet ﷺ. So what are the conditions for action to be accepted? Is we have to do for the sake of Allah, and secondly, we have to do it according to the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Okay? And the ayah is فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُ لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا. فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُ لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ, whoever wants to meet his Lord, then let him worship Allah alone sincerely, which is إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Okay? And وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا. Then let him follow Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is the hadith of Aisha, and then let him not associate anything with Allah Azza wa Jal. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّةِ, the hadith. So this ayah includes the two hadiths we just read. So what is amal al-salih? In the Quran, Allah said, تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. The one who created life and death to see who is in best action. أحسن عمل. أحسن. What is أحسن عمل? Fudail bin Iyad was asked, one of the great Imam. This you can find it in the Tafasir, in Surah Mulk or Surah Hud is there. This ayah. لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. To trial you to see who can do best action. Allah didn't say أكثر عمل, who can do most of the action, but He said أحسن عمل. Okay? So Fudail was asked, يا أبا علي ما هو أحسن عمل? يا أبا علي is kunya, Fudail bin Iyad. What is أحسن عمل? He said, هو أخلص وأصوب, more sincere and more precise. So what do you mean by that? He said, Man amila amalan khalisan, okay, khalisan lillah, wa ghayru sawab la yuqbal. Wa man amila amilan sawaban ghayru khalisan lillah fala yuqbal hatta yakun khalisan sawaban. So he says that he explained what akhlas and aswab. He said that akhlas is that whoever does worship for sake of Allah, but it is not from the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, it won't be accepted. Then he said, whoever does action from Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, but not for sake of Allah, will not be accepted. Then he said, until it is khalis sawaban, until you do it for sake of Allah and from the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. So he said he combined those two. That's what ahsanu amal mean. Okay? Ahsanu amal or amal al-salih is if someone does it for sake of Allah and following the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. That's the two conditions have to be met. That's what Fudail bin Iyad explained ahsanu amal. Also in the Hadith, Rasulullah said that khairun nas tala umruhu wa hasuna amaluhum. He said that the best of you, mankind, with long life and hasuna amaluhum, that he has good action. But he did not say kathura amaluhum. There's a lot of action left. Someone can do a lot of action, but it's all bid'ah. But someone can do good action from Quran and Sunnah, but less action. Better, isn't it? So, hasuna mean, that's what Fudail bin Iyad meant. That's what it means. Ahsan hasuna mean that you do action that for sake of Allah and from the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. That's what makes it ahsan amal. That's what Fudail bin Iyad said. So, this hadith is hadith of Manhaj, and that we follow Quran and the Sunnah, and contrary to that is bid'ah. And bid'ah, we have explained what is bid'ah. Bid'ah is lughatan ماذا هو ماذا اختراع غير مثال السابق. To invent something, there is no something like that again. To give example, بديع السماوات والأرض, the creator of the heaven and the earth, which is bid'ah lughatan, because something no one ever created that. Okay, so we explain what bid'ah lughatan mean, and we have explained what shar'an. We said the ulama said bid'ah is that من يعمل عملا في الدين ليس له أصلا في الشرع. That whoever someone who invents something in Islam, okay, and then action or statement whatever, but there's no basis in the Sharia of Allah Azza wa Jal. That's bid'ah in Islam. طيب, we've explained bid'ah, what it means, but I want to add a bit more inshallah. That bid'ah, we mentioned what different level of bid'ah, isn't it? Okay, the bid'ah different level. We say bid'ah that can be kufr or غير kufr, mukaffara. Mukaffara is that bid'ah of the mushrik and the jahmiyyah, things like that. We have bid'ah of يعني غير مكفرة, which doesn't take out of Islam. We said the two types. For example, someone do bid'ah, but there's an asal basis to that. For example, azkar, okay, azkar is the basis of that, but how you do it is bid'ah. And there's certain bid'ah, there's no asal in, there's no basis, which is celebrating the birth of the Prophet. Imam Shatibi rahimahullah brings in his i'tisam, he explained bid'ah, the three types of bid'ah. The bid'ah haqiqiyya, bid'ah idafiyya, naw'an, or bid'ah tarkiyya. The bid'ah haqiqiyya is the bid'ah which has no basis in the Sharia of Allah Azza wa Jal. It is a bid'ah, there's no asal in it. Okay? And that could be mukaffara, gayru mukaffara, that will take out of all of Islam. Bid'ah of the Jahmiyyah, Rafida, Qadariyya, bid'ah of the mushrik. These all bid'ah, there's no basis in the Sharia of Allah Azza wa Jal. Bid'ah in its true reality. Okay, the asal of it is bid'ah, nothing is praiseworthy. Bid'ah idafiyya is bid'ah which is addition bid'ah. The asal is there, but how you do it is not, there's no nothing in the sunnah. So bid'ah idafiyya is like, let me give you addition to that. Bid'ah idafiyya, raghaib, salatul raghaib. Raghaib is for raghba. What is salatul raghaib? Imam al-Nawawi in the ulama says it is bid'ah. What is that? That what they do, this bid'ah was introduced in Baytul Maqdis at the beginning, and the people pray 12 rak'ah beginning of Rajab, between Maghrib and Isha on Friday. They pray 12 rak'ah, and the Sha'ban, the 100 rak'ah they pray. Imam Nawawi says, and the others, these two are bid'ah, bid'ah munkaran, bid'ah munkara, qabiha, madhmuma. He said that the bid'ah that he detests, not acceptable, it's praiseworthy, that these two bid'ah people do. Yawmul Rajab, Yawmul Sha'ban. Rajab, as we have said, between Maghrib and Isha, they pay 12 rak'ah. Okay, they pay 12 rak'ah on first Friday. And Sha'ban, a lot of people have done this, you pay 100 rak'ah on Sha'ban, and people believe that if you pray, all your sins are forgiven. A lot of people have done that themselves. I'm reading myself. We have no knowledge of that. When we were young, we were told by our parents to pray 100 rak'ah, all your sins are forgiven. Okay, a lot of people have done that, but it's bid'ah. Okay, the 12 rak'ah is bid'ah. There's a hadith about Prophet ﷺ, this hadith of Abu Dhar, Abu Huraira, and Tabarani mentioned it in Awsat, in his book. He mentioned that الصلاة خير موضوع فمن استطاع أن يكتثر فليكتثر. Okay, that this hadith Shaykh Albani makes it Hasan because it strengthens, other narrations strengthen this hadith. That he said الصلاة خير موضوع. The salah is the best legislation been placed in Islam. Whoever can increase it, let him increase it in nawafil. So this hadith, you pray the general nafila. There's no specific hours you go pray. There's no specific time. So people they take this hadith and they pray in Shahr Rajab, they pray between Maghrib and Isha 12 rak'ah. Okay? They make it specific. So the ulama said this is bid'ah idafiyah, because the asl is there, the basis is there, you pray as long as you want, yes, but there's no specific time. So they only pray at that time. Rajab, first week of Rajab, Friday between Maghrib and Isha, that's bid'ah. Okay? And the Sha'ban, as you know all that. So bid'ah idafiyah is that two types. One has the basis of the Sharia, kayfiyah is, okay? Kayfiyah is bid'ah. Kayfiyah is how you do is bid'ah. طيب. So that's what Imam Nawawi says as well. Salatul Raghaib. These salawat is bid'ah. Is asl is there, fundamental basis is there, but how they do it, when they do it, is bid'ah. طيب. Bid'ah tarkiyah, the third one is, which is basically is called bid'ah because the hadith of the three person who came to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Aisha, and they asked Aisha about Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayers, a'mal, and they felt low. We know the hadith. That's bid'ah tarkiyah. What happened to them? They left the sunnah. They left sleeping. Okay, this is bid'ah itself. Okay, it's a bid'ah, and so that's bid'ah tarkiyah. Bid'ah is bid'ah because you left ibadah. Okay, getting married is sunnah. Okay, sleeping is sunnah if you do for sake of Allah. Okay, things like that. Fasting, breaking fast, sunnah, but you left that becomes a bid'ah itself for what you're doing. So certain thing leaving could be bid'ah. Okay, for example, if someone says, I'm not going to eat meat. Don't worry, don't eat meat. Nothing to do with that. Maybe you're allergic, whatever. But if you say, I'm leaving eating meat, taqarrub ila Allah, to the worship, then that's bid'ah. That's tarki bid'ah. It's not from the sunnah. Okay?
Tarkiyah means worship.
Taqarrub, to take you close to Allah. So because we worship Allah to go close to Him, isn't it? If someone says, I'm going to leave eating meat because I believe will take me close to Allah, it's part of worship, then that's bid'ah. Leaving the act is bid'ah. But if you just leave it for the sake of leaving it because I don't want to eat, because it's not for my people to eat, say lizard. Lizard is halal to eat. Prophet left it. He never ate, but he never left it as a worship. It's not something he eats. But Sahaba ate in front of him. He never said, don't eat. No, eat. But it's not for me, I don't want to eat. It's not because it's worship. La. So, if you leave something, mubah, but if you leave it for the sake of leaving it, I don't want to do that, khalas, don't do it. But if you say, I'm leaving it because I think it's worship, it will take me close to Allah, that leaving is bid'ah. طيب يا إخوة. So, a lot of these hadiths coincide with each other. So this hadith we just read today, two hadiths of Aisha radiallahu anha, matched with other hadiths. Okay, like إياكم محدثات الأمور فإن كل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Owe to you in novelty, every novelty bid'ah, every bid'ah will take you to hellfire. So coincide with this hadith, similar things. So we're not going to expand too much. So we covered two hadiths, alhamdulillah. Brothers and the viewers, inshallah. So we'll continue next week. Jazakumullah khair. Any questions, inshallah, for me to clarify? Go on. The bid'ah, types of bid'ah. First bid'ah is, we covered, is bid'ah al-haqiqiyya. Something that is bid'ah in reality. There's no basis in it. Okay? And we said there could be, that bid'ah could be, that take out the fall of Islam. The bid'ah of the Rafida, Qadariyya, Ghulat al-Qadariyya, extreme Qadariyya, the Jahmiyyah, Mushrikun, the bid'ah, the celebration they do. These are bid'ah al-haqiqiyya. There's no basis in the Sharia of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Haqiqa. So the next one is bid'ah al-idafiyya. Idafiyya mean additional bid'ah, meaning the asal is there, but they add things in it. So that falls into two. That bid'ah idafiyya two is that the asal is there, But how they do it is bid'ah. How they do it is bid'ah.
Now, I've got a quick question. So in
And the last one is tarkiyah, bid'ah of leaving. So if you leave that act, it's bid'ah. Okay, like the three companions we mentioned, and we gave example of the food. Yeah, if you leave it, believing it is ibadah that will take you close to Allah, then that leaving is bid'ah itself. You know, so if someone is vegetarian, they can't eat meat. You eat because if you eat meat, you might have allergic to it. Okay, khalas, medically you don't eat. But if it's I'm leaving akhi because I believe it's sunnah and it is ibadah, then this bid'ah tarkiyah.
You mentioned in the 8th hadith, so the hadith of Tasi' a point who obeys Allah and Rasulullah are amongst those who are, did you say siddiqun?
صديق اوكي وما يطع الله ورسوله فاولئك مع الذين انعم الله عليهم من النبيين والصديقين. Yeah, Prophet, Siddiqeen, the Shuhada, the Salihin. These four type of people. So this part we are talking of mustaqim is part of these four people Allah is mentioning. That's what ulama says. Yeah.
You see, for example, if a man marries a woman, right, and the woman she falls into a bid'ah that's a ghayr mukaffira, would that mean fasq of the nikah, or is it still valid in marriage?
As long as she's Muslim, you can't. As long as the brother or sister, as long as they're Muslims, okay, then obviously the bid'ah is still there, the marriage is still there. But if one of them were to abandon Islam or become apostate from Islam, then obviously then one have to divorce. Yeah, he divorce her or she make khula because of if the person is apostate from Islam. Yeah, but otherwise if it's no mukaffara, then obviously the person have to make tawbah from it. If it's no mukaffara, then the marriage still continues. Yeah, yeah.
In regards to bid'ah, let's say you have a situation where an individual, for example, reading Allah, they understand it as, you know, every time you read it, you get the word of further the Quran. They themselves take this act and then read it as many times as possible, constantly. However, they do not tell others to do it. Where would that fall into?
So someone reading Ikhlas.
Yeah, so let's say they understand it based on its reward, or they read it to further the Quran.
So maybe if you open the Musaf, he just reads.
Yeah, so he understands it based off the reward of it, and then he decides to read it as many times as possible to increase his reward. However, he does not tell others do it. It's not sunnah and stuff.
Okay.
What category would that?
So read it multiply basically.
Yes, based off its reward. So he's trying to amplify it, but he's not mentioning that it is amongst the sunnah.
Because he said in Quran you get reward 10 hasanat anyway. So there's a hadith of Prophet Abu Sa'id al-Khudri and Aisha that there was a man, Sahabi, he was leading the salah, and what happened? Every rak'ah he was reading Surah Ikhlas. Every rak'ah he recited Surah Ikhlas and multiplying it. So they said to him, "Why do you do this?" He said, "I'm doing it because I love. It's a surah that talks about Allah Azza wa Jal, and I love it." So they told Prophet why he's doing this. They asked him why he's doing it. So they asked him, and this was the response they gave it to Prophet. He said, he's doing because he loves, this is surah of Tawheed and he loves reading it. Tell him Allah loves him as well. So if I'm praying Allahu Akbar, I recite Surah Ikhlas in 4 rak'ah, nothing wrong with that. And having belief in that, I'm doing because I love my Lord and this surah that talks about Tawheed of Allah and I want to read it. Nothing wrong with that. So if someone in the house reads 4 times, he reads a lot, nothing wrong with that. Nothing to say it's haram because he's reading Kalamullah. And he likes to read that because it increases Iman. And it's a sifat of Allah. Nothing wrong with that, inshallah. Yeah.
You said it's about innamal a'malu binniyat. So if someone's done an action but forgot to do the intention for the action, then realized after they did the action, would they still get the ajr if they remember later time?
You know, the ulama said based on this hadith, they came with the principle al-umur bil maqasid. Everything umur mean everything that you do have to base on intention. So if we've explained this at the beginning of this class, is that intention has two pillars. And Ibn Taymiyyah, Imam Shawkani, Al-Izz bin Abdus Salam, they use this. First, you have intention to do it for the sake of Allah. That's the ikhlas you have to have. And then you have to have intention for every action. Tamiz, you distinguish the act. So if you're going to pray Dhuhr, okay, your intention for Dhuhr, not for Asr. And example like wudu. If you make wudu, you have intention for all the salawat. If you make wudu just for Dhuhr, then you have to make wudu again, because action judged by intention, and you get what you intended for. So if a person intend for Allah, yes, but whatever action he's doing has to be, he's to specify the action. So salah, for example, is that okay, or do you want to ask me something specific?
Yeah, so for example, let's just say I go to the shops and I've already paid at the checkout. I realized I didn't have the intention that I'm spending for the sake of my family. Then I realized after I've paid for it, for example, if I remembered after, I've left the shop.
Or saying you're spending for your family, and you paid it, then you realize, no, even if then it's okay, because so you paid and you never had the intention for Allah. No, even afterward, if you have intention, nothing wrong with that, because you still can have renewed intention and say, I'm doing it for Allah Azza wa Jal. To please Allah, I'm spending it for my family. Even if you have the intention afterward, nothing wrong with that. But this is mubah, this is dunya issue. But for ibadah, you have to have it before. Yeah. So alhamdulillah, yeah. So if you have the intention after you bought the goods, nothing wrong with that, inshallah. Go on. Go ahead.
You know how there's no evidence, there's no dalil for having the adhan for Salatul Eid. So is it sunnah tarkiyah to leave it? Does that come under sunnah tarkiyah if you leave it off?
Yeah, I was reading about that.
Imam al-Zahabi mentioned. Imam al-Zahabi mentioned something in his Risala, something along those lines.
It's a sunnah tarkiyah, yeah. Yeah. So Eid, so you go bid'ah tarkiyah and you go sunnah tarkiyah as well. Okay, it's sunnah of leaving. Okay, so basically, as I reminding me, I was reading it there what Shaykh said. So you go bid'ah tarkiyah. So if you leave something, it's bid'ah. For example, we gave example of 3 men, yeah, and if you leave anything to do with food or anything mubah, but if you leave it for thinking it's ibadah, then that bid'ah is bid'ah itself. But also sunnah tarkiyah is that you leave a bid'ah, the sunnah, to leave that bid'ah. For example, the adhan and the iqamah, there's no adhan and iqamah in the Salatul Eid. To do adhan and iqamah in the Eid is bid'ah. So you're not leaving that bid'ah, not doing adhan and not doing iqamah yawmul Eid is sunnah, so you're leaving the bid'ah. Meaning you're not giving the adhan, so that's sunnah tarkiyah. Do you understand that? Yeah, that's what it is.
Is it just for bid'ah or is it for other stuff as well?
Yeah?
Is it just for bid'ah, sunnah, tarkiyah, or for leaving bid'ah, or for leaving other actions as well? You know, something like a fitness situation, or I'm going to leave this because it might cause fitna, I'm not going to say nothing, I'm going to leave this gathering because they're backbiting. Is that sunnah tarkiyah as well? Or is sunnah tarkiyah just for leaving bid'ah?
If you're leaving something for fitna,
Maslaha, mafsada.
So give me a specific example.
Just say there's people in the room and they're backbiting someone, or maybe someone's making an inappropriate joke about Islam, and you get up, you leave. Is that sunnah or leaving?
No, this is it's in the Quran. You should leave that. If someone is speaking and backbite Islam, either you change this is something you have to do. Change the evil, you walk away. You have to do that. Yeah. So it doesn't fall under the bid'ah, but I don't think so. It's similar to that what Azhar is saying. This is sin, isn't it? You have to warn against that. Stop the people doing.
So sunnah tarkiyah is specifically for leaving bid'ah.
Bid'ah, things like that. Yeah. So if you leave, anyway, if you just, for example, if you leave drinking alcohol, it's sunnah tarki in a way because it's sunnah of the Prophet not to do, it's from the path of Allah Rasulullah not to drink alcohol. In that sense you can say sunnah tarki as well, yeah. So shirk as well, you can call that as well, sunnah tarkiya. Because sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, the path of sunnah of Prophet ﷺ is not to commit shirk with Allah. Abandoning the shirk is sunnah tarkiya, you can say it in that aspect, yeah.
Leaving whatever Rasul sallallahu
Forbade.
leaving whatever Allah.
Yeah, it's sunnah tarkiya. You can say that as well. Yeah. Khalas. You can ask me. This brother, you can ask me then.
Yes, in regards to what the government intention, yeah. Let's say you had a situation due to wudu.
Wudu.
Yeah, so you made wudu, as you mentioned, Sheikh. Now, if you made specific intention for example, Salat al-Dhuhr or Asr, it's only for that salah. Let's say you've forgotten to make the intention in general, you've done your wudu. In regards to that, would you then do your wudu again for the next salah because you haven't made the intention? Or is your wudu
You know,
counting for the
it's a
whole
good question. It's a good question. But I haven't read on this, but based on this hadith, I'll do it again. You know why? Hadith says, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّةِ وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى. And we have explained this hadith, the two different sentences. Every action judged by intention, and you'll get what you intended for. So based on this hadith, if you make wudu without any intention, you're not going to get anything. So have intention, inshallah. I will make it again. I will make it again. And I'm not saying if someone doesn't make it, salah wudu not accepted, but I will make it again. I won't feel comfortable in my heart. I have the intention and then make it again. Because you get what you intended for, but you haven't made the intention. So make the wudu again, inshallah. Yeah, make it again. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, but you're going to have intention anyway, but someone just came made wudu.
You may suddenly forget. Right?
Yeah.
You've done wudu multiple
Because the what the
times,
person, if
you don't think about it.
yeah, if you always have intention anyway, yeah.
No, that's what I meant.
Like, okay, I'm making wudu for Dhuhr, Asr. Now you don't work like that.
Yeah.
You just come to the masjid. The fact you walk into your bathroom or in the masjid, you made the intention because I want to pray. So
You make the wudu.
decision in mind that I'm making wudu for Dhuhr only. Then that's different. Then,
Someone who's done that is causing themselves problems.
yeah.